Hi everybody, this is Geneva, and I'm going to show you how I made this tag start to finish and all the hand-created embellishments as well. So this could be a little bit of an involved video. By the time you're done, you will have a beautiful Christmas tag. Well, let's get to work. The tools you're going to need: crocodile or some way to punch a hole. You'll need it if you're going to put in a eyelet like I did for my ribbon. Otherwise you just need just a plain hole. You'll need a catch pan and some artist's friend to dust your tags where you're going to stamp them. You'll need some stamps. These are all from the Nutcracker Sweet Graphic 45 collection. You'll need some tissue paper tape, and I make my own. I'll show you how I do this. It was a great discovery that I made watching Kathy order, I believe, one day. You'll need something to stamp your Sugarplum fairy on. I used watercolor paper, and I'll show you how I colored her as well. You'll need white chipboard white cardstock to make shadows. So you make her more like a piece of chipboard with multiple layers behind her. You'll need white cardstock to stamp, and again make this piece more rigid so it's more like a piece of chipboard. If you want to hang something like I did, you'll need a little piece of something, a charm. This is a piece of table confetti. It's plastic and it's rather thick, that I punched a hole in with my crocodile. It's stuff I picked up at Walmart last Christmas. It's still around if you want to use that. Let's see what else I need. You'll need 2 tags, one to do all your creative work on, and the other side to cover up the mess that the back will be, because it will be a mess. A water brush, distress markers, Tim Holtz distress markers. I use tumbled glass, aged mahogany, and tattered rose for my, and this was all used on the Sugarplum fairy. Acrylic blocks to put your stamps on so you can stamp them. Black archival ink, and you need this so when you watercolor your fairy, the outline doesn't run, so use permanent ink when you do your stamping. And I used not quite navy to stamp my tissue paper to make my tissue tape. I used distress stain from Tim Holtz, brush pewter, and chip sapphire, some distress ink, tea dye, and tumbled glass. Blue and white embossing powder. One silver eyelet, optional. Of course, the watercolor paper. Bone folder, nope. Blade, yes. Craft knife or scissors, whichever you prefer. And you will need glue and double-sided roll tape of your choice, and this is used to make the tissue tape with. I use two types of glue. I use Eileen's Original Tacky Glue, and I refill this bottle a lot. It's kind of a mess. And this is Perfect Paper Adhesive, which I really love. Here's what the bottle looks like, and I just put it in these little bottles that have a fine tip on them to control the glue. It's rather loose glue, so that's why I do that, and it works wonderfully. I'll also use Elmer's glue on occasion. Alright, let me get this cleaned up, and I'll come back and we'll start with getting our tag prepped. Okay, we're going to start with a standard 6 1/4 by 3 1/8 tag. It's the size that Tim Holtz uses all the time for his stuff. It's a nice size. We're going to lay down some chipped sapphire and some brushed pewter. Now, your metallic stains, always shake before you use them, every time you use them. Otherwise, you don't get the metallic out. Now, this step is optional. I do it. Just add some water and then run the tag through. I'm going to set this aside to dry. Hurry the drying of the tag by using heat gun, but I'm not going to because we have lots and lots to do. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is on my watercolor paper, I'm going to stamp my Sugarplum Fairy. Using Ranger Archival Black. Oh, geez, beautiful. Her. Put her out of here because I can use this paper for more stamping, of course. Set that aside. Okay. Use an acrylic block. Here's my markers. You can do this any of a couple of ways. You can put the on your acrylic block and pick it up with your water pen, or you can put it right on the paper and pull it, and that's what I'm going to do because these colors are not very dark. Just take my water pen tattered rose makes a pretty skin tone. Of course, you don't have to do this the way I'm doing. You can do it any way you like. I am not a technical colorer. You know, there are people out there who are just amazing at this, and I salute all of them. Coloring is not a skill I have developed. A little bit more colored outside the lines. Flesh tone. I'm going to do her cheeks in the aged mahogany, and I'm actually going to put it on my block and pick it up because it's pretty dark. And while you can clean up dark with water, it takes its toll on your paper. So I play safe rather than sorry. Bright rosy cheeks. Now the tumbled glass. And this you can almost just paint on. And I think I'm going to for her slippers. And then I'm going to just pulling that with the water brush. Give me some light and some darks. Like I said, I'm not really good with this, and I don't think you have to be to get your point across. She will be beautiful no matter your skills. And just play with it. You know, if you totally mess it up, you can always stamp another one. Nobody's so harsh a critic as ourselves, so okay, I want the lightest blue on her wings. I want them to be there, but I want them to look transparent, translucent. And again, I'm not the best at this, but I sure do have fun. Oh, it's a little darker. Okay. Done with this stuff. I use a craft knife or small scissors depending on what I'm cutting. And if there's a lot of intricate stuff, I tend to go to my craft knife. I'm more skilled with it than a pair of scissors. Okay. I'm going to finish doing this. Okay, the next step is to get her attached to some layered chipboard. And get some pieces put together here. I have SureCut's a lot software and a cutter that works with it. So I just scanned an image of the stamp and brought it into the SureCut's a lot software and created a shadow of it, and cut out 4 of them. But you can easily do this by hand. I'll do one more layer. So I'll have 3 layers of cardstock and then the stamped image to go on top of it. If you take your time when you're gluing these together, you can make them look just like one piece. Instead of 3 stacked together. It's one of the reasons I use the wetter glue. It gives me time to move it around. Got 3 layers. You see it's nice and thick. If you're using a heavier cardstock, you may not need 3. I want her to pop up off the card without using dimensionals. This is actually going on a gift, and less opportunity for tearing and snagging. And I thought the better. Alright, there she is, all mounted up. Now you can you see mine's all sparkly, and it's Christmas. She should be. So what I did was I took the hair glitter spray that, you know, after Halloween you get for almost nothing, and I just spray her with that and let her dry, and I will have a sparkly ballerina. Next, let's do, that's not dry yet, we can do our Winter Wonderland. First mark. glue. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is put this on here. Cut yourself some extra pieces. Or you can do the stamping first and cut around it, which is probably the smart thing to do, but this is how I chose to do mine. Good and gooey. Careful not to pick it up so you get any of the glue off. Never sure what actually comes through on the camera when I hold up something like this. Okay, now I always use a wooden board because heat will mess with your self-healing cutting pad. Beautiful. Okay, and again I'm going to it's a baby wipe. I keep mine in a little plastic tub because it'll stay moist that way, and I can use it for more than just one project's worth. It's all clean. Okay, get these glued together, same way we did the other one. There we go. Yeah. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is show you how I did the tape. Now, tissue paper has a slick side and a not slick side, at least the stuff I buy. I'm going to stamp on the slick side. I'm using Stampin' Up! Not Quite Navy. You can use anything you like. Let's see. Make sure to hold the stamp in the same direction. You're going to make a line of them, which I need to, so it's got to be at least this long. You can make this tissue tape with any stamp in your collection. Let your imagination go wild. Okay. Turn it over and get your double-sided tape. And just put it wherever you want. I will get 2 strips out of this. This is 1/2-inch tape. It comes in 3/4, an inch, 1/4, an 1/8. So you could just do about anything you wanted to. Now see, when I peel off the backing, I can stick it down, and this is my stamp side face up. Pretty easy to trim. With the tape backing still on it, it acts as a guide. This isn't dry yet, so we need to hurry. We need to hustle it along if we're going to get this finished. I want this to be really flat because I'm going to do some stamping and embossing on it. I'm going to put on the snowflakes. So I've got my craft iron plugged in, heating up. Cotton tea towel, flour sack, cloth, whatever. You get them 2 for a couple of dollars at Walmart, and I use them for drying my hands and for being a pad under anything I want to iron. Is all it took. All done. I want to put snowflakes in the background. Just going to tray ready. This a bit of a brush. This really does make all the difference when your embossing powder coming off where you don't want it to be. So I'm just going to randomly stamp snowflakes, and you can see the glue is a wet spot when you're doing this. Don't accidentally put two in the same place. Okay, all ready to emboss. Put this back into the jar. If you're wondering why the stuff isn't sticking to this makeup brush, it's because I wiped the brush with a dryer sheet. So nothing much really sticks to it. Alright, let's get these embossed on. Okay, now that we've got the snowflakes on, embossed, the next thing is to put the tape, and put it wherever you want it. You don't follow me exactly. Not having fingernails is a pain some days. Okay, so just put it down. That's all I need. Put this, don't need it anymore. Tape's on. Next thing I'm going to do is put on a sentiment. Now this is where I use the tacky glue. Don't have to put it on very heavily. And it sticks relatively quickly. Our Sugarplum fairy down. You know, I love these Graphic 45 stamps that go with their papers. When the papers are gone, you don't want to feel like a schmuck for buying stamps that you don't have another use for. And making tags out of the stamps just seemed like a perfect idea to me. Okay. Let's put the back tag on. Find what I did with it. Oh, bother. I have more. Okay, I cut these myself, so I know that I need to... Okay, before we go any further, let's get the back piece put on. And again, I use wet glue. I don't want it coming apart. I really should have done this before I started putting down the chipboard pieces after I laid down the tape. But I got ahead of myself. Okay. There she is. Let's get our hole punched. Now I'm going to use the larger hole. Best I can. Change this to the big one. These can be so confusing. Okay, I'm going to set my eyelet. See, I'm going to put that through the wrong side. Now you don't have to do a ribbon. You could do a tassel, twine, anything you want through here. I just happen to choose ribbon. Shiny pin. These are ball pins or tag pins. I found them on eBay for not a lot of money, but I had to order them from China, and it took them a long time to get here. Now, there you go. One very pretty Christmas tag. A nice clean back to write whatever you want to on the back of it. And certainly you don't have to use it as a gift tag. It could be used as part of a scrapbook. If you don't have time to make your own, I have a few available on my website. There was a craft show that I was scheduled to go to, but for one reason or another I couldn't attend, so I have a few of those things available to sell. You guys have a Merry, Merry Christmas, and I know you're going to have fun creating this, or one that you make from things from your stash. Have a Merry Christmas. I know you're going to enjoy making this tag or one like it with the things you have in your stash.